But yeah, man, it I think we're in the same age range, but our generation is just we're different. Just because we grew up in a time, our formidable ages was before internet, and
Yeah.
then going into our teenage years is when the internet explodes.
Oh yeah.
Um, so we can kind of share in how our parents and past generations grew up, but then we had this onslaught of technology. Um, that we didn't grow up with, and our children, they're just growing up with it. That's all they ever know, and we lived in a big changing of the guard, I believe.
Oh sure. Yeah. Like going from paper to digital, just not even just talking about in terms of books, but just as a source of information to say like, oh, I got to go to the library and do a book report. Now it's just like, go sit in your room. You have access to, how many trillions of pieces of information from all over the world. Not saying that they're all factual, but
Yeah.
you can access factual information. Encyclopedia Britannica. My parents bought, what is that, 38 volumes of that thing. I would read that like crazy. And
Well,
now
and
you
you,
can get that on your computer. Like you can access that. Like, oh my gosh. Like
well,
just,
well, nowadays you can become a punk rocker in like a day. Like
uh, what?
you can listen to every single album
Oh,
that ever
oh,
came out. Like, being a metalhead or a punk rocker or a horror fiend, back in the day, that took a lot of time and effort to build up that identity. Now these kids, they can change their identity in an hour.
sure. Yeah. They can catch up with a lot of stuff. Yeah. Even, I mean, and not even just like new age stuff, right? Or modern music. They can get music from the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s. Like all this stuff is available now.
Oh yeah.
It's so crazy what's out there. And then what
It,
is that? The dark web actually comprises what, 98% or something of the internet, or what is that stat?
it's an insane number.
Have you, just as a side question, have you ever traversed the dark web?
I've played with it a couple times. I like,
Yeah.
you know, back in my drug days, I like to buy them like good old fashioned off the street corner, so I'm not getting it ordered to my
Oh, I didn't
house.
even. Oh, okay. I wasn't even talking about buying anything, paying for hitmen
I
or anything.
Yeah,
I
get your
just
hitman
meant,
and drugs the good old fashioned way.
yeah, all in one's place, the dark
Yeah,
web.
I never really, because isn't that what it mainly is drugs and child porn, and
That's
unfortunately, it's not a place I really want to be.
that's what it's been popularly associated with, but it's basically just information that hasn't been like indexed by search engines and whatnot. So, I mean, it's anything, but it's basically like unfiltered, uncensored, uncut material that is just out there. Like whatever you put out there that search engines don't pick up, it's essentially accessible by the dark web. So it's not all illegal, but it's just that illegal stuff tends to float around in there.
Yeah.
And yeah, unsecured. Yeah, I
There's so
don't know
much
where
on
to
the
go when I get
secured
there.
websites that I got stuff to do forever.
Mm.